Hello, 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 hello. Not yet. Hello.
Hold on. Go ahead. Go back. Start the music.
We've been strong for so long. Now it's time to rise. No more dimming our light. Let it shine so bright. Breaking chains, breaking downs. We reclaim our crown. Standing tall. Heroes rowing, ain't backing down. We are queens. We are fire. We are born to be bold. Writing history, rewriting what the world has been told. No more limits, no more waiting. Feel the power inside. It's a moment, a season. Watch us about. We rise again, stronger than ever. Never we own our space. Rediscovering our work, no time to waste. From the roots of our past to the dreams we create, with a vision, a mission. No more fear, just faith. From the boardroom, the stage, shoot the books that we write. We are queens, we are fire, we are born to be bold. Writing history, rewriting what the world has been told. No more limits, no more waiting. Feel the power inside. It's a moment, a season. Watch us about. We rise again, stronger than ever. Never we own our.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome back to the S.I.T podcast. I am your girl, Sabrina. Usually Michelle would be here, but she played hooky today. Okay, no, she didn't. She had a previous engagement, and I am going to miss my partner. But she wanted to make sure I didn't miss her, so she gave me a letter to read to you all. She said, please do not open it until you get on the podcast and then read it. I'm a little afraid because you guys know I'm leaving with Tyler Perry, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I am going to read her letter. I just opened it. Maybe I should scan it first. Okay, no, I won't do that. It says 3/31/2025. Dear Sabrina, that's me. It has truly been a pleasure and a pure joy to spend this month with you. That sounds like a goodbye, dear. Okay, let me continue reading. Spend this month with you as we launch the S.I.T podcast, Sistahs Inspiring Transformation. Before I continue, I want to shine a spotlight on all the beautiful people watching today. Oh, that's so sweet. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Hi, Vernon. We have accomplished so much in this short period of time. We gave away 50 dresses when I didn't even know you had 100 and new prom gowns with its tag still on it. We had an amazing guest thus far. We represented BKS1 S Press for the IBS International Beauty Show we did at the Jacob Javits Center. We are featured in the Trade magazine. We are famous. I said all that to say I will be with Oprah tonight. We'll keep you posted. In the meantime, good luck with your gorgeous artwork, Golden Connection. I know we set it up and slam dunk, so don't worry too much. Love you, Michelle, the Golden Link. Aw, that is so sweet. You are here even when you're not here. Very nice. Thank you, Michelle. I know you're watching, and you will truly be missed tonight. But We have a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, and I have a very special guest. So I'm going to introduce my guest first, then I'm going to talk about some things, and then we're going to get into his things. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Vernon Bludson. Hey, Vernon, how are you?
What's up, cuz?
Good. So there's a little caveat to this. Vernon is actually my cousin. He is my rich cousin, millionaire. And ladies, sorry, he's married. And he's going to talk a little bit about his business and his business ventures. But right now, I'm going to just let him talk and introduce himself and tell us a little bit about Vernon.
Well, I'm Vernon. And just like a serial entrepreneur, I guess. You know, I do everything. I sell clothes and I run shows. I do sports. I do everything. So there's nothing that I don't try to accomplish if it's in front of me. Mm-hmm. And I dig into everything. You know, people come with ideas. I try to make them happen. Just like with your venture, you know, I'm trying to help you go to the next level if I can, you know. And that's what we do.
Multi-millionaire status. We like it. We like it a lot. Well, Vernon, I'm going to get into some issues today, and I'm going to have you help me with it. And then we're going to talk about one of the business ventures that you have that I just think is so interesting, and even the name of it is interesting and how you came about it. But first, this is the last day of Women's History Month, and I wanted to honor just a few women. The first one is my partner. That's not here. Oh, okay. Anyway, and then I want to honor a few women when it comes to voting rights. We have Mary Ann Shadd Cary, she was born 1823, passed away in 1893. She was an activist and a journalist. Cary led a delegation of 60 women, both black and white, to attempt to register to vote in 1871. Her efforts highlighted intersection of racial and gender discrimination and voting rights. Then there's Ida B. Wells, 1862 to 1931. She was a prominent journalist and a civil rights activist. Wells founded Alpha Suffrage Club of Chicago in 1913. The nation's first black women's club focused specifically on suffrage, and we know a lot about that. She also participated in the 1913 suffrage parade in Washington, D.C., advocating for both racial and gender equality. And then the last lady I am going to honor in this last day of Women's History Month is Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer was born 1917 and died 1977. Hamer became a leading voice in the 1960s civil rights movement after being denied the right. I'm gonna emphasize that. After being denied the right to register to vote in 1962, she became a field secretary for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the SNCC, and co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party to challenge racial exclusion in politics. So I just want to honor these three ladies on this last day of Women's History Month. And the reason why I chose these three ladies is because voting is so important. I get so tired when I hear people say, I'm not voting because I don't like any candidate. Well, guess what you did when you didn't vote? You voted. One person turns into two, two turns into 10, 10 turns into 1,000, and you lose big when you do not vote. And many people fought for our right to vote.
And died.
Voting is a privilege. We should be out there voting. And if you don't, and this is just my opinion, I think a lot of people don't vote because they don't know, right? But then it's up to us to educate ourselves, which is really big. So I thought it would be important to tell New Jerseyans that there's a huge election coming up in June. In June, they are going to be voting in the primary election for governor. That means that Governor Phil Murphy is no longer going to be our governor, and we have to vote in a new governor. They have in-person votes. I mean, when can you register to vote if you have not registered to vote? Everybody who is 18 and over should be registered to vote. That's the first thing. But if you're not, we got you. There's in-person voting May 20th. You can vote by mail as long as it's postmarked by May 20th, and you can do it online May 20th. You can put an absentee ballot in person by June 9th. It must be received by June 3rd. You can also do in-person June 10th and by mail postmarked the absentee ballots by June 10th. Can you vote early? Yes, you can vote June 3rd through June 8th. Remember, the election is June 10th. And then lastly, the voting polls are open from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. You want to say something, cousin?
No.
Okay. So let's just dig a little bit deeper. Primary elections. The purpose of the primary elections that's happening in June is to pick a candidate for a political party. The purpose of the election in November, so in June, you're going to pick a candidate, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that you want to be the running mate, Democrat or Republican, in November. So it's important that you get out in June and make a selection for which candidate you want to run for mayor in November. We're deciding on governor and lieutenant governor. Lieutenant governor, like the vice president, is elected along with the governor. Why does it matter? You asked. The governor sets state policies, propose budgets, sign, vetoes bills, and oversees major departments. And again, the elector will be the successor to Governor Murphy. What I really want you to do is, number one, know who's running in this June election. Do you guys even know who the candidates are? Well, it just so happens that I do. Woo! So, for the Democratic candidate, you have Ras Baraka is running in this primary election in June. You have Stephen Fulop. I hope I'm saying his name right. You have Josh Gothenmeyer. And forgive me if I'm messing up these folks' names, but do your homework. Mikey Sherrill, Sean Spiller, Stephen Sweeney. You have 6 folks running in June fighting for a position to run for governor in June. Do some research. Google, see what they stand for. Make your voice matter. Who's running as a Republican candidate? Jack Ciccarelli, John Bramnick, Bill Sapadia, Mario Kranjak, Justin Barbara. Again, I apologize if I'm butchering these names. But 5 candidates are running for Republican candidate. What do they stand for? What is it that they're fighting for? What are they giving us? If you don't know, you need to register to vote. And if you don't vote, just imagine, and I'm just going to use Ras Baraka as an example. He wants to run for governor, and he wants to be the candidate in November. But you guys look at this list of 6 Democratic folks that are running, and you say, oh, I don't like any of them, and I'm not voting. Forget this election. I don't care. Because you didn't vote. 10,000 of you didn't vote. 5,000 of you didn't vote. Ras only has a certain amount of votes, but he's missing 5,000. And now this Republican won the office because you said you didn't want to vote because there were no good candidates. When I read the background of one of the Republican candidates, he stood for MAGA. Everything that MAGA stood for, he stands for. So he's winning by default because people are not voting. Again, I'm going to say people died for the right to vote. They were hosed down by waters. Dogs were sicked on them. They died so that we could have a voice. Do not silence your voice. New Jersey right now is the only state running for governor, so it's really important that New Jersey folks pay attention to. I know in New York, mayor is coming up.
It's a big one.
Eric Adams. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying nothing else. So pay attention. Check out who the candidates are. Google. See what they stand for. See what they're fighting for. When you don't vote, you're voting. Because what do you have to say about that?
100%. Like you said, people marched and were beat and killed and maimed for the rights that we have today, and it gets lost. And if we don't continue the legacy, it's going to get lost completely because they're trying to eradicate a lot of this stuff from the history books. We spoke about that. I told you with the girl in Texas when her son went to school and they told the kid that the Africans originally came here as migrant workers. This was actually in textbooks in Texas. It's crazy, right? So people are forgetting because they don't know.
Right.
You know, so it's up to the generations to keep passing it down.
We have to keep passing it down because you're right. They are trying to erase our history,
it's
our
crazy.
rich history.
Right.
So we got to get out. We got to hit the pavement and vote. In November, even before November, I'm probably going to enlist some people to help me go out and get people to vote in New Jersey because it is important, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're so against voting, then get involved. Get involved in some of the political arena. Take small steps, baby steps. You have the NAACP, you have the Chambers of Commerce. There's so many volunteer. There's so many things you can do to get involved and make a difference in this voting game. But don't make what our ancestors did be in vain. If it was important to them, it should definitely be important to us.
And it wasn't that long ago, but people
And
think
it wasn't that. Wait a minute. It wasn't that long ago for who?
Well, we're talking about in the 50s with King and these guys marched in the 50s and the 60s. It's not relatively. It's not that long, Sabrina.
I mean, I'm not that old. You gonna stop?
You wasn't marching, was you?
In spirit, I swear, in spirit, I was marching, and they are still marching with us in the hopes that we realize the brevity of their actions, what they were trying to do for us.
100%.
Good stuff, good stuff. And I'm just going to read really quickly, and I'm going to get off this subject. But we have to vote. June is around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Beacon is a candidate from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. He is running for Republican. He's running as a Republican candidate. Bacon emphasized a strict interpretation of the U.S. Constitution, particularly the Bill of Rights. He identifies as a conservative MAGA. Why would we not vote and let him win? He doesn't advocate for greenhouse. He wants us to keep our microwaves and all the stuff that is cancer causing instead of the greenhouse energy. He's against it. Know what these candidates are about. Don't just give it away. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I'm going to keep on with this voting. And I'm coming to your houses next. Knock on your doors. All right, good stuff. And we're going to put up the flyer at the end, but I want you guys to know, don't forget, Rediscovering Your Worth, my book, on sale at Amazon. Get your book now. Healing starts here. I know it just kind of went on a whole different subject, but I saw it sitting on my countertop. And Michelle's book, Grandma Pauline's book. I don't have a copy of it, but it's an amazing book, guys. The illustrations are amazing. The message is amazing. It is about her grandmother, which is one of her favorite people on the planet. And she also gave us a bonus because there's some recipes in the back of that book. And I'm going to try one, even though I don't really cook. But I'm going to try it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So my amazing cousin came all the way here from Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house. How was your commute?
It was funky, but it is what it is. It's like an hour and a half to get here.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't see my Facebook friends. Poogie, you on?
Nobody's out there today, huh?
Yeah, we got a lot of people on. Hey, Poogie. Hey, May May. There's my family. I see you, Chuckster. Yes. Yes, right, Poogie. Or they may say your vote don't matter. We have to get out and vote. It's important. Yes, absolutely. Vote Roz Baraka. Oh, Roz has a cheerleader online, y'all.
Oh, Roz.
Yes. All right, so moving right along into our next subject. So, again, I have my amazing millionaire cousin in the seat, and he is going to talk to us about his, what fascinates me is the T-shirt business that you have.
Right.
What is the name, and this is just one of his businesses, y'all. What is the name of your T-shirt business? How did you come about that name, and where can folks find your T-shirts at?
Well, the name of the company is 800 Pounds.
Why that?
And it derives from a metaphor of the 800-pound gorilla. And the definition is an overbearing entity in a sphere of anything that you do. Like you're an 800-pound gorilla too, because it's just not limited.
Not literally, but okay.
It's not limited to just the male species, because the female gorilla is just as strong as the male gorillas.
Right.
And it's just a metaphor that is an overbearing entity that needs to be reckoned with in any sphere that we do. You know what I mean? So whether it's selling T-shirts, whether it's selling books,
right,
whatever it's selling cakes, whatever it is, we get into it, and we here. You got to deal with us. So that's the deal. 800 pounds, and I wore this one for you for the S.I.T podcast.
She's so pretty.
The pink. But that's the gist of the 800 pounds. A lot of people don't know the metaphor, but it is an old English metaphor that dates back, hundreds and hundreds of years. They used to say, "Where's the 800-pound gorilla sit?" Any place he wants to.
I know that's right. And it's funny because when I thought of the gorilla, right? So I know there's like 3 different types of gorillas. One they have the zoo, one in the mountains, and one somewhere else. And the heaviest one, the silverback.
The silverback, right.
Probably gets to be the heaviest.
Right.
Not quite 800 pounds, but it could.
No, 800 pounds is...
It's just a metaphor.
Right.
But I said, I wonder, can a gorilla actually...
No, they only grow to be about, a silverback gorilla, full male, is about 400 pounds.
Right.
But they could lift like 20 times their weight.
Right.
So, and they're 10 times stronger than humans. So that's the deal. But the silverbacks are amazing. Yeah. Then you got the mountain gorilla, like you said. Then you got the zoo. I don't know what they got in the zoo.
So they got the mountain gorillas, it was the mountain, the silverback, and there's a third one that's at the zoo. I don't remember.
Do you guys remember the story of Harambe? No. Harambe was a full silverback gorilla in Cincinnati. And some lady let her like 4-year-old son or 5-year-old son just wander the park, and he wound up in the gorilla cage or the gorilla exhibit, right, with Harambe. Wow! And it was crazy. They actually had to kill the gorilla because they thought the gorilla may.
I remember the story. I remember the story. Yes.
So it's like devastating because the gorilla is actually harmless. He was. I don't know if he's going to hurt the kid, but the kid shouldn't be like the mother should be at fault, right, for letting a
Right.
5-year-old kid
Get in there with the
Yeah, the
gorillas,
gorilla, yeah.
right, right.
But yeah, and they're rare. You know, the gorillas are dying off. They're not as they're not plentiful. You know, it's not a
Yeah.
lot of silverbacks around. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like gorillas too because gorillas don't eat meat, do they?
they don't eat meat. We had this conversation. They get
Yeah.
400 pounds, and all they eat is leaves and ants
Right.
and berries and grapes. Your diet, they eat the berries and grapes.
I know. And we think it's so funny because growing up, my mother, oh God, she still does, but she used to love steak, right? And she used to eat it. And that's probably what really turned me off. She used to eat it medium rare. So when she get this steak and cut it open, and
It's all red. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the steak lovers. I couldn't take it. Hey, Sabrina! I could not. Ugh. And then when I was a little girl, right,
Right.
my mother made meatloaf. And I think that's when I really realized I didn't like meat. And so she made this meatloaf. And then I took a piece of it and I started writing my name on the refrigerator. Of course, I got a beating, but that's a whole nother conversation.
You wrote the name with the meatloaf?
I did on her refrigerator. I don't want
That's crazy.
I've never liked meat. Ugh.
Well, we come from a back. Mama Thelma used to throw down. You know that. So
Oh, my mother could cook.
Yeah, she used to throw down. I told you, but you didn't know that. I told you years ago I had a like a little takeout place, and I got the recipe for this barbecue sauce from your mom.
Right.
I
Oh, my
call it-
mother. When I tell you, my mother, I remember one time one of my family members, I think it was my niece, she said, "How did your mother make the barbecue sauce?" And I was like, my mother's barbecue sauce, why
Off the
she
hook.
wasn't in the supermarkets
no
is
question.
beyond me.
Yeah.
But I know how to make it.
I went to her and I said, "Mama Thelma," I said,
Hi,
"You gotta
Mark.
get," and she gave me the recipe. You know, so and
She
was,
gave you the recipe? I had to
gave me the
watch her.
she gave it to me. That was the recipe we used at the take. We were selling ribs and chicken and stuff on Farmers Boulevard.
I bet you sold a lot, too.
Yeah, they love it.
Mommy, her barbecue sauce, special barbecue sauce, and her mac and cheese. Oh,
Mac
they
and
would
cheese.
line up for that macaroni and
Yep,
cheese.
yep.
Man, I miss them days. And I tell a story all the time. My mother, I don't care what holiday it was. It could have been 4th of July, Memorial Day, Easter,
She was cooking.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. We had the biggest spread every holiday.
You want to eat, you go to Delma's. That's it.
What? And it wasn't small stuff. Like, Mommy had fried chicken,
She had everything.
steak. She had ham. She had turkey. She had cornbread. She had collard greens. She had...
She had to feed 20 of y'all. I mean, so
Go easy. Don't tell her family secrets now. Now you're getting dirty. Now you're getting dirty. Fam Bam, we got cousin on here. Tell him, don't tell her secrets. Yeah, my mother was, I mean, she still is, you know, but she obviously doesn't cook anymore. But I mean, her food was phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. I've never tasted soul food like my mama's.
That's dying off too. The kids don't cook no more. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You don't cook. So, did you teach your daughter how to cook?
What? You know, I'm gonna have to get my daughter up here one day. My daughter graduated with an MBA and she from Johnson and Wales. She better know how to cook.
She cooks.
She better know how to. Yeah, she doesn't cook like your typical meal. She's gourmet, fancy pants.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a condescending way. She's
Yeah,
like,
she's yeah, I got you.
You
5-star chef, like one of those. Yeah.
you not eating regular fried chicken. You
She do like that. I saw it on the news the other morning. They had fried chicken and caviar. She went over
right. She done made some. Yeah, she's amazing. And the funny thing, she's not in that field, but when she cooks,
crazy, right?
yeah, she's good. Somebody said DoorDash. Who does DoorDash? Who does DoorDash? But yeah, so I mean, we used to have some good times back in the days.
Yep.
So 500 pounds, t-shirts.
800 pounds.
I'm sorry, 800 pounds. 800, 500.
She trying to send us a weekly in there. You know,
Right, no, I'm 800 pounds.
800 pounds. That's right.
I was trying to, say it was on a diet, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, they all muscle. You know, they're not fat. 800 pounds is all muscle now. This ain't no fat.
Really?
We just said they don't eat meat. Girl.
Right. You want to hear something?
Yeah.
It's funny you saying that. I have a trainer, right? So I go to the gym because I have a pretty athletic build.
Okay.
And I go to the trainer and I said, listen, whatever you do, I don't want any muscles.
Right.
Oh, Sabrina, as you get older, you need muscles. I said, my body's already athletically built.
Like Serena and them, right? You like Serena and them? Come on, girl.
Please, I don't want any muscles. So this Mamba Jumba, now he's a trainer, so I'm going to follow what he does. Why when I left out of there, I look like the muscle, if I show you my muscles.
Like a bodybuilder.
I'm not going to complain, though, because it could be worse. But when I tell you.
Well, you don't eat meat. You don't eat meat anyway, right?
Well, I'm not going to say I don't eat meat. I eat it sparingly. Like chicken is the only meat I will eat. I don't eat pork.
That ain't real meat. I mean, I'm talking about, come on, we talking about some ribs.
No.
Steak. You don't do none of that no more, right? But I heard you last week. You said you do the berries.
Oh, yeah.
So you're on a gorilla diet. And I mean, basically,
the 800 pounds.
800 pounds. That's it, right.
Yeah, so I, like this morning, I packed some blackberries and some blueberries because, know, you tend to get a little hungry and you go for the first thing that you see. And at my office, they have nothing but snacks all around the office.
Like potato chips and cheese doodles, all the nonsense. Yeah,
so I pull out my blueberries and my blackberries. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I will cheat. I am not loyal to the blueberry and the blackberry. I will cheat. But for the most part, I try. And I do it because I like it. I don't do it because...
Are you a big salad person? You like salad?
I love salad.
So what's your go-to salad? What do you like?
I make a salad that has, if I make it myself, I'll make romaine lettuce, the English cucumbers, tomatoes. I will put egg whites. I will put black beans, beets, fresh beets.
Don't tell me using Thousand Island dressing.
No, an avocado. Okay, good. An avocado, and then I chop it up.
All right, that's okay.
Real nice. And if I really want a little, that in itself is enough flavor.
You like arugula?
Yeah.
I'm a big arugula guy.
Yeah.
So I do everything with arugula. It's arugula based no matter what it is.
Okay.
And I can eat arugula by itself, right? Just like the gorillas. They just take it right out and eat it. Just eat arugula.
Yeah. But I mean, I do eat chicken.
Chicken's good. I mean, you need a little protein.
Okay. My brother said jerk chicken salad.
Jerk chicken salad. Who's that, Clemens?
Yeah.
What's up, C?
Runner said, "Hey, C."
Yeah, jerk chicken's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, I eat everything. So I mean, but in moderation, you got to do it. You can't eat fried chicken every night. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't.
You can eat it once a month if you like it. You know
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it that much. I just every now and again I want,
I'm surprised you don't like grilled chicken with your salad with all the.
I do put chicken in there. Yeah. I will put some grilled chicken in there.
Yeah.
And that's saucy enough. I don't really need to put any sauce. Right. But if I do, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's the killer.
I might put a little ranch on it.
A lot of people, they douse the salad with French or ranch. Or
I might put a little ranch if I want to get
a little bit is good. I
want to get a little risky, get a little freaky. I throw a little ranch, in there. Yes, yeah. I'm not a total bore.
Oil and vinegar. That's it. Straight oil and vinegar.
Oh, you boring? No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'll throw a little ranch in there. Yeah. But I don't do it because I shouldn't say I didn't start out doing it because of vanity or vainness or a lifestyle. I just did it because I liked it.
Right, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know when you eat a lot of salads, or like I told you, I do the green juice. When you start doing those things, and then when you have like a store-bought juice, you could taste the sugar. I mean, you could taste how much sugar
you're right.
is in the food content, or the salt that was in the food content.
You are right. I love juicing, but I'm going to tell y'all something. One of my downfalls is I'm unorganized, right? Okay. Always have been. I'm working on it. I'm work in progress. And so in the mornings, I'm so busy shuffling around before I go to work, I don't really have time to make the juices. And I know some people say prep it before. I don't do all that.
Right.
But I love juices also. So if I could have a green juice every morning, I would be in my glory.
Right. But it's just the time consuming and your organization. And then it's the cleanup. You by yourself.
Right, because I can't, I cannot leave my kitchen a mess.
Right. You said that, I heard you say that before. You got to clean everything before you leave. Yeah. So those green juices.
From my mother too.
Yeah. Green juices is tough because you got to clean up.
You have to clean up. You cutting all the fruit. And then I know some people who are very organized. God bless you all. Maybe we can, touch bases and you can give me some tips. I'm just saying. But there are people who prep, they prep their stuff, and so all they have to do is just get up and I'm working on it. I said I ain't perfect.
Or you can maybe we could find a green juice alternative. If you, like you said, you had a green juice place by your house, but they're not open all the time.
They closed down.
Oh, they
We
closed it
talked
down?
about. So let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. When you are in business, right, especially for us African American people who want people to support our business.
B2B, we're gonna call it.
B2B. We're
right.
gonna change it. Y'all know what B2B means? Black business. Shh, black business.
Black to black. That's it. Right, go ahead.
If you have a business and you say you're going to open at 10, please open at 10. There's a place that I used to go to that had the juices. Delicious. One day I went. They were supposed to open at 11. They didn't open at 11. And here I go coming back at 12. They didn't open at 12. I came back at 1. They still didn't open. I said, I'm done.
Right.
It wasn't that serious. At that point, I could have went to the supermarket and got all the ingredients and did it myself. But suffice it to say, now the place is actually closed.
Closed down.
Because you're not going to get business because you're not consistent.
Not consistent, right.
I don't care how good you are. You have to be consistent, right?
100%.
And so when we talk about businesses, we have to be consistent if you want people to patronize. So going back to your business, you have the T-shirts, right?
Yes.
Where could I go to purchase one of your T-shirts? And what is the messaging on your T-shirts, if you don't mind explaining that?
Well, the messaging is just like I said, is the 800 pounds. The name of the company is 800 pounds, not gorilla, but the metaphor derives from the 800-pound gorilla.
Right.
Again, like I said, it's just an overbearing entity that if you in any, like you're in the podcast business,
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to deal with you somewhere down the line. Oprah
Right.
and who's the other guy?
Tyler.
Tyler. They got to come in and they got to deal with Sabrina at some point. But
Right.
no, so basically that's the message. You could be whatever you want to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
The strength is yours. How would you use it? That's my new tagline.
Right.
The strength is yours. How would you use it? Because we all have our own inner strength, right? Everybody has a different purpose, like you said. Everybody does certain. What I do may not be good for you, and vice versa, right? But everybody could dig deep within and find their own purpose,
Right.
find their own strength. What makes them tick, And that's it's just motivation. Just a motivational thing there, the 800-pound gorilla, and you can go on 800pounds.com and you can buy.
So you're on 800pounds.com?
Yeah, you can buy all you want. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's no limit. I took the limit. I used to have a 2-shirt minimum, a maximum. I mean, but now you can buy whatever you want.
Wow. Why did you put a limit on it?
I'm just teasing.
Oh, you being funny. Oh, I'm like, damn, your shirts are selling out fast. Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
really good. Do you have a shop or is everything online?
Everything right now is online. The only thing I do, like I tell you, I do the stadium.
Oh,
which is
right.
like-
You're at Yankee Stadium,
Yankee
right?
Stadium, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
But that's more so with but the Yankees are in the description. If you look at some of the descriptions of 800-pound gorilla, they would say in the sports arena the Yankees could be considered the 800-pound gorillas of baseball. That's actually a definition in the dictionary.
Are you a Yankees fan?
Die hard.
Whatever.
Wow, who are you? Were you a Met fan? Oh, you don't know nothing about baseball.
I don't play. Listen.
And you
You know what's so funny?
you
When
grew
I
up
was
in Queens. You grew up right
I
there
know,
by-
Mets, Yankees. I used to be at the stadium all the time. The funny thing is, when I was younger, I was a diehard Yankee fan. I was a Knick fan. You couldn't tell. I knew the plays. I knew the players. And now,
You don't do nothing. Just writing books,
just writing my books.
doing screenplays,
Podcasts.
out shaking hands and kissing babies.
Shaking hands and kissing babies. Yeah, so I used to love, I'm telling you, I was on a basketball team in high school. I ran track. I'm telling you, I was very
Athletic.
I'm not going to say tomboyish, but I could definitely switch into my
Your
tomboyish
sport-
role. But I really like the feminine side more.
Let me ask you a question. I've been thinking about this. If you had a chance, you could pick any famous person or couple anybody that you could just hang out with for the day. Who would you pick?
Jesus. If I could pick any famous couple or any famous person, who would I pick?
Right.
That's so interesting.
Because I've been thinking, I know who I would pick, but I want to hear your.
It's so many.
It's a lot, yeah.
Like, I would want to talk to Harriet Tubman.
But you can't. I'm saying today's where I get that, but we can't talk to Harriet.
But, oh, you mean today?
Yeah.
Oh, you said anybody. Okay, today. Oh, my God. let me think about that, and I'm gonna come back. If I could talk to anybody today, who would it be? Now, what?
You know why I would hang out with? Who I look to hang out with?
Who?
The Obamas.
I was getting ready to say. That's what I was getting ready to say, but
No, I would. I mean, me and Barack hang out, drink a few beers. Michelle cooking chicken in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
kitchen, yeah.
Michelle, bring us some more chicken.
You are funny.
No, but
I
no,
don't
I would
know,
definitely-
audience. If you had an opportunity to hang out with anybody today, who would it be? Wow.
It's pretty. It's a long list. I mean, I'm sure everybody has a different. But I would definitely. I think the Obamas are so. They were the first, obviously, right? And they're so intriguing, like a lot of things that they do. And they're humans like we are. But
and
I
they're
just
humans, yeah.
But and I told you when you had the farmers on last week that Michelle Obama's into the farm. Well, she actually started a little farm at the White House.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call it a farm, but she had a garden, where she grew the vegetables and everything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't know. I got to think about that.
Did we get any response? Anybody?
Nobody. Anybody. If you could hang out with anybody today, who would it be? Now, Cousin Vernon said the Obamas.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good one.
Now, if you're going back, like you said, Harriet Tubman. and
I
all those
thought you
guys,
meant anybody. I would
yeah.
love to talk to Harriet Tubman. I would love to talk to Fannie Lou Hamer. I would love to talk to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Like, there's some questions I would like to ask them.
You know what the crazy thing about Malcolm and Martin? Mm-hmm. Like, we all know the history, but they were babies. They were 30 years old, 32 years old, 33. I mean, I think King was 35
Yep.
when he was assassinated,
Yep.
right? It's crazy to think like he fought for a cause that and what you were saying about the voting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy gave up. He had a family, he had kids, he had a wife.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going to get killed, right? I'm just saying that 35 or 36 years old, however he was, I mean, it was that much to him, that he was going to get it's crazy.
That's really, it's so funny because if you think about a lot of famous people, actors, activists, not all, but some, they die young.
Right.
Whitney, Michael.
Whitney and Michael.
But I'm just saying, would you be famous for a short period of time and die? Would you take fame or death? Would you take fame and death or non-fame in life?
I think
a billionaire in death because you're going to die young, or would you rather not be famous and live a long life?
I'll give you a funny.
Jasmine Crockett is a good one. Oh, I would definitely want to sit down with her. Yeah, so would you want to have a short life, be a billionaire? Like if I said to you, Vernon, I'm going to make you a billionaire, but you can only live 10 more years or 5 more years. Or if I said, Vernon, you're not going to be famous, but you can live till you're like 85, 90.
Well, you know what happens, right? As somebody that's 25 years old will look at somebody that's 60 and say they're old. Mm-hmm. And if you gave me 60 right now, I take it. They say that until they 59. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm just saying, like, nobody wants to go. Everybody
but
wants to
if you had
go.
the answer today, I don't want the analytical thought through question. If you had that,
I want longevity. You can keep the billion because I can't take it with me anyway.
You can pass it down to your kids, long life and live.
Listen, they got to make the billion like I made mine. I can't be worried about that. Listen,
yeah.
I want longevity. You never seen a hearse followed by a Brinks truck, have you?
No.
All right, so I ain't
know. That's a good one. Yeah. You said I haven't seen. Say it one more time.
You never seen a hearse followed by a Brinks truck, right? So when they got those processions, ain't no Brinks trucks behind them.
Yeah, no, me either. I would definitely take long life over
100%.
Being a billionaire any day of the week. Well, long life with my beautiful family.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you had $1 billion, right? Like, what would you do?
And I do.
Yeah, all right. What would you do different that if you didn't have $1 billion? Like you said, like you're living and you may not have the complication. You know what I mean? Guys have hundreds of millions of dollars and they're unhappy.
Yeah, of course.
Or they go broke or they kill themselves or whatever's going on, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy. So
I mean, but you have poor people like that too. I mean, the money is just one portion. It is the individual themselves because you can be poor and have those symptoms. You could be rich and have those symptoms.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Money's not a condition of anything.
Right. Well, it's like I told you before. I rather be able to like if somebody is broke or they have no money and they say, could you feed me?
Right.
I rather
That's right, Patricia.
I can give them fish, or I could teach them to fish, and
That's
they can
right.
feed themselves the rest of their life. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I definitely don't. Money's not the answer. I don't want the billion.
Right.
I don't
It's
want
not
longevity.
right.
I want
You
longevity.
can be rich in so many ways. You can be rich in family. You can be rich in love.
Well, I hate to bring up negative. Look at P Diddy. I mean, whatever your
I was
thought
about
process.
to say something.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
shut up.
But we were just talking about money. And what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that money means nothing, right? I'm just saying the guy's worth whatever he's worth, and he's going through, the trial of his life, right? So whatever,
Yeah, but I really feel like it's the way we think about money. And this is just my personal opinion. It's the way we think about money, especially for a lot of black folk, right?
Right.
We've been taught that money's the root of all evil. Money don't grow on trees. Money can't make you happy, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It's when you put the negativity around the money that makes the money bad, right? But if you would take the money, build a Black Wall Street, take the money,
yeah, sure.
build a school and pay the teachers to teach our kids properly. You know what I'm saying? If you thought of money or put money in a good way or a good connotation, see it differently, then we wouldn't have to think that this one is not happy because they don't have them. I mean,
Well,
they
why
got
do-
money and they are not happy.
Why do you think like some of the people that could probably do what you're saying, and I'm not calling anybody out, but we have celebrities, we have sports athletes, we have people, educators that have a lot of money, right? And they could afford to do what you're saying. They could build schools, they could start businesses, they could create situations in the inner cities. I'm not saying that they don't do
I was
it.
going to say, are there some that don't?
No, they do it, but
Yeah, 'cause
at a
didn't-
level that
Right.
that you understand what's going on. Like there's no big projects that I know of that none of these people are doing, and I get it, and I know that I don't know everything. I mean, they're probably doing stuff under
They're
the
probably
radar.
doing it
you know.
right, building schools. There are folks who build schools. There are folks that build apartment complexes to help. But like you said, it may not be en masse. I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Right.
But if I had to sit down and think about it, I probably would, come up with the why. But I know that's what I would do. It's so funny because I tell everybody all the time, if they got my phone, they would have just all about me. I built out a whole school on my phone.
Well, you were telling me, right? Yeah.
Education is important.
Right.
Teaching our kids the right stuff is important to me. Feeding our kids the right stuff is important to me.
Right.
Like Michelle said, I gave away 50 dresses.
Dresses.
I have 50 more to give away. This world is not just about me.
Right. Well, we already know it's temporary, right? So we all know.
Right. Far be it from me to think that it is. And so if I could help, I'm going to do it
Right.
anywhere in any way I can.
Any steps you could take to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
100%.
so funny. You see, even I was a young girl, my friends used to be like, "Oh, what are we gonna do for Christmas? What are we gonna do for Thanksgiving?" I used to say, "Oh my God, let's go to a shelter and feed the kids.
Right.
Feed them for the holidays." They'd be like,
What are you talking about?
"Who you talking about, Willis?" And there was this guy who he was like, "Can we go on a date?" I was like, "Sure." I took him right to a food bank. We was in there packing bags.
Did you ever-
He's like, "Oh my God, nobody's ever took me here before."
Did you have a good time?
He
All
did.
right. He took some bags home.
So I mean, teach
No,
his own.
100%. No, it has to be a little more. I mean, I think people look. We talk about generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It's generational, right? So we can't lie to ourselves either, right? So generations in the past in our communities, well, maybe our parents didn't know about
Money.
finance,
Right.
or they had work situation where they had to work two jobs.
Yeah.
You know it is working two jobs, right? You got to go one job, come home, you're stone tired, you got to get up and do it again tomorrow, and you got 4 kids, 5 kids, so it's not easy.
My mama had 9.
Yeah, well, she was a maverick. That's what Mama Thumb was a maverick. But
Woo!
but it was a lot of people in the same situation, right?
Yeah.
Big families, 2 jobs. So they didn't know everything like what you know today or what I may know today. Our parents necessarily didn't know that.
They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the
right.
education. They didn't have the money. They didn't have the tools to be successful.
100%. And a lot of things have gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things have stayed the same. I mean, we're still dealing with the same problems that
The
they were dealing with.
trauma.
Yeah, the same trauma that they were dealing with in the 60s. You still hear in certain parts of the country
Yeah.
all this nonsense that's going on, black, white, they're beating up. Like, it was in Brooklyn. Some lady claimed, now I'm saying this is the story, her son got beat up by a group of white kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm assuming he was black.
He's a black guy, yeah. And she was on the news and she's telling the police, this is unacceptable. I want answers. Like, why my son can't get on the train and come home? He's being accosted and abused by this group of white kids, and they beat him up. He's in the hospital, whatever it is. And she's right. Like what are we talking about here?
In
like,
2025.
In 2025, the kid can't get on the train. He got to worry about some white kids. Now, I don't know the whole the validity of the story because they haven't caught the kids yet that beat him up. So we don't. She said they were white. I don't know what they were, but I'm just saying if it's true that they were white kids and they just beat him up because he was black. That's crazy in today's world, right? In 2025, right. You know, and the mother's right. Like I sent my son to school. Why is this happening?
Because hatred is passed down. Because kids are not born hating.
Right.
So kids are not born with trauma. It's all of this is passed down.
Yeah.
It's passed down.
100%. It starts from somewhere.
Of course.
It starts from somewhere. You know, so when you see these 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids acting out in a racial disorder, it has to come from the home.
Nazis hate Jews and black, everything that's not Nazi. White supremacists.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that we still are battling this in 2025. And, of course, the new administration is really trying to take us back. But you know what's so funny? Every day I get up, and I say it all the time, I'm extremely happy, extremely grateful. Some days I walk through my house and just thank God for everything, even the breath I breathe, the air that I breathe. Because if we allow what Trump is doing to rattle us, we're going to have more anxiety than we've ever had. I try really hard. I'm not perfect. I try not to be a convenient Christian, right?
Right.
So have faith when it's convenient. I try to have it all the time.
Right.
A part of me feels like this had to happen so that people could see. But I do think there's going to be some change. These are just my thoughts. I think it's going to be some calamity as a result of it. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be some. What I'm trying to say? It's going to be bad before it gets good.
Well, you know the sad part for me. I don't disagree with you, but so we're in a it's mixed. Half the country wants it. They support him,
and that's telling you about telling you about who they are.
No, I get it, but they say the same thing about us, right? So it's got to be an equal medium. Like it's got to be it can't be all. They did that, so they're wrong. Or you did that because they got to meet in the middle.
These Democrats and the Republicans
it's crazy. It's nuts, and he's so polarizing. Like Trump is, but I told you that before. He's been that way since I know Trump, and he's been putting up gold buildings. He's got airplanes. He's been doing this his whole life. That's just what he is, you know. And the people, he's. I'm not going to say he's a con artist, but I'm going to say
he's a con artist. That is right.
He's a manipulator. He can manipulate.
Manipulator, misogynistic, con artist. You name it, he's it. The list goes on.
The list goes on, yeah. But meanwhile, half the country overwhelmingly voted for him.
Right.
So,
including black folk.
That's what I'm saying.
And the funny thing is, I have this vendor who comes to see me. He's a black guy, nice-looking black guy, and he was telling me that he used to work for a major news station.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you which one, and he said one day he had to cover a fight. I think it was a Mike Tyson fight.
Mike Tyson.
And they had limited spacing for the press.
Okay.
So everybody couldn't sit there, and he was lucky enough to get a seat there. He said when he got to the press box, DT was in there with a young girl, feeling and rubbing all up on her.
Right. Yeah, that's his thing.
And he said that why he did it, I don't know. But he said, and the thug, you're right. And he said he told him, you're not supposed to be in here because this is only for the press. He said DT stood up and said, I could buy you and sell you. He said he was so shocked at what he said. I said, I don't know why.
I didn't give him a price. Listen, I'll go.
I will buy you and sell you.
I go for $20 million. I mean, give me $20 million.
You know what your brother said about my grandkids, and I'm gonna knock him upside his eyeball.
What did he say? Oh yeah. He's something else.
But yeah,
Did he tune in on your board? He said he was gonna.
I don't know. I can't see him. I see my Michelle, girl. Hey, Shelly Shell. Patricia Collins came on. Hey, family. But yeah, so it is a lot to unpack. But I don't get caught up in these. And I work for the federal government. Have been for the past 29 years. I don't get caught up in the executive orders.
Right.
Not that I don't think it's going to affect me. Not that I don't think it's going to impact me. I still, to God be the glory, still have my job. But faith.
Well, like you said too, it's family, right? So you got to take care of your family. I'm not just boasting because it's our family, but everybody raised beautiful kids.
Yeah.
All the kids are doing what they, doing something positive.
Your sons are really big.
Yeah, my sons
Ooh, making music for artists and all kinds of.
Not only that, forget about that. I'm just saying they don't get no trouble. They're not in the precinct. I'm not getting phone calls in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So
we do have some good.
So we got
kids.
good, and everybody in the family, they just doing,
our whole family is.
The structure is strong, So and that's what you have to build.
And it's a lot of us. And what's so funny? It's a lot of us, and we don't fight. Right. It's like my sisters, my nieces, they're like my best friends.
Right. It's harmony.
It's harmony.
Yeah. No question.
Yep.
No question. I mean, like every time, like as you said before, we're going on a family reunion. I can't wait till I get to see the whole family, right? And it's just great, So
family reunion.
So everybody planning, and B2B, she got everything going on. She's on top of everything.
It's gonna be so exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of us. This was truly an amazing session. I really did enjoy talking to my cousin. We talked about some really critical issues. Don't forget to vote. I'm coming to your houses if you're not voting. Knocking on your doors. I'm going to put on my sneakers. No, I'm not. I'm coming in my heels.
It's like Barack said, don't boo, vote.
Don't boo, vote.
That's it.
Vote.
Don't boo,
don't
vote.
Boo, vote.
That's it.
And so we can make a difference, even if it's a small one. We take baby steps. We are moving in the right direction. Also, in May, so we got some events coming up. So our next podcast, we have a special guest. I don't want to say the name just yet because Michelle's not here. So we will stay tuned because it's going to be juicy. But I can tell you that on, I believe it's April 14th, we will have the black pilot coming in, and he will be with some students.
Is he going to fly here?
He might. I don't know. He can land it
right
across the street, right? There's a big, and also we are still looking for some more contestants for our dating show. Who's coming down? I'm going to do the first show. We need some contestants. I'm going to be the first contestant on our dating show.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be the first contestant on our dating show. So I'm either looking for 3 bachelors or 2 women bachelorettes and 1 bachelor. So if you're interested, DM me. It's going to be fun. And the folks that win, Michelle and I will sponsor the first date, and we also have some prizes to give out to the couple that goes on the first date.
They going to Hawaii?
Are they going to Hawaii? They may, but not on my dollar. They may. They may go to Hawaii if they so choose.
I thought you and Michelle were you're going to splurge and get them out there.
I'll go to Hawaii.
You ever been?
I did. I was there last year for my birthday when I fell down the steps.
Oh, boy.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I usually go on I usually go away maybe like twice a year.
Long flight Hawaii, though, right?
We left from California, so I flew into California to stay with Shayna, my
Right.
daughter, and then the next day we flew to California, and
You
of
flew to
course Hawaii. I mean, we flew to Hawaii. Of course, it's close to California, so it wasn't that bad.
But from New York, how long would it be?
I think it's like 12 hours, maybe 10
That much?
hours.
Wow.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. But California's far too. It's 6 hours away.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
that
little-
6 ain't 12, though.
Yeah, well.
On an airplane. I mean,
That's
6 is
true.
about as much as I can say.
When I went to Ghana, it was about 11 hours.
That's a whole nother animal going to Ghana.
Beautiful.
You loved it over there?
Yeah, but so much is going on, so much unrest in the world. I don't think I would go back right now.
You didn't feel safe?
It's not that I don't feel safe. I just, like I said, so much unrest. I would probably wait
Right,
to go back. But I did love Ghana.
right. Did you see any of the, like the natural, the
Yeah, we
elephants
went
and
to the port where they took the slaves from. It was so emotional for me because you could literally feel the spirits. It was.
Crazy, huh? Did they have any old ships there or anything? Did they have anything like that or no?
They have some ships, but I'm sure it's not from the slavery
Slave
days.
days.
They have some wreckage over there, but I'm sure they're just, ships that they just didn't take care of.
Right.
So yeah, we walked down, and I can't remember the walk of something where we walked down this beautiful path to the river. It was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. A great time to be had by all. Was with some amazing people on the trip. Their energy was great. It was just perfect.
You went with the church, you said, right?
It was just perfect. Yep. So before we go, because the time is almost up, I swear this time goes by
runs so
so
fast,
fast,
huh?
and I like to talk, y'all. I'm a talker. But ladies, May 3rd, and the flyer should be up shortly. May 3rd, we're having a Mother's Day event. It's a pre-Mother's Day event. We're going to have a comedian there, Big Mama. We're going to have a DJ. The tickets are only $30. If you buy them in advance, it's going to be $40 at the door. There's going to be vendors there. There's going to be food vendors. And we're going to have a special surprise for the ladies as they walk in the door of the venue. So look for the flyer so you can grab your tickets now. They are selling, and we only have 100 tickets. And we are not going to squeeze any more in, so don't ask me, can you sit on the stage?
Big Mama need that stage. What are you talking
Big
about?
Mama needs the stage, right? Yeah, she's one of the funny comedians, and she promised to keep it clean because I don't do the cursing, all that.
All that cussing. Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor.
No, sir. Nope. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you to my amazing cousin. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I love you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, family. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has truly, truly, truly been an honor to sit in here and talk with you about some of the critical issues. To my partner, Michelle, if you are watching, if you don't bring your behind back here next week, it's not going to be nice. And thank you for the letter. All right, family, with that being said, I'm going to say good night. Until next time, the SIT podcast is out.
We've been strong for so long. Now
That's
it's
it, you
time
guys?
to